Former President Trump is preparing for his arraignment tomorrow. And, well, got to hit a guy when he's having problems. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis took the opportunity today to open a new line of attack on Trump.
Are you going to make the same kind of pledge to the Republicans as you go around the country that your judges will be like the Trump judges?
Well, actually, I would say we'll do better than that. I mean, I respect the three appointees he did, but none of those three are at the same level of Justices Thomas and Justice Alito. I think they are the gold standard, and so my justices will be along the lines of a Sam Alito and a Clarence Thomas.
Chris, this reminds me of that old thing. You don't hit a guy on his weaknesses, you hit him on his strengths. If there's any strength that Donald Trump has with conservative voters, it's judges, is it not?
Yeah, and I think there is some disappointment we recently saw, for example, the Supreme Court Justice Roberts, not a Trump appointee, but joined by Neil Gorsuch to uphold restrictions on voting in the South because of civil rights law and things like that. So there's some frustration and some disappointment. But of course, this is the time where Republicans are looking for Trump's rivals are looking for anything that they can do to lay a hand on him. Has been up in the polls by a long shot. And I noticed Nikki Haley today coming out to start rapping Trump on national security questions. So I think this is part of a general emboldening that you will see, some out of necessity because the clock's running, but others out of because Trump is in a dangerous position.
No, with not any hyperbole at all, Justice Thomas is the greatest American. So, if that is your standard, and I kind of have an allergy to calling them conservative judges because, of course, they're originalists. This idea that you're just interpreting the Constitution, you're allowing the legislative process to play out, let the people vote. And this Supreme Court, because of Trump's appointees, has done that very well. And so conservatives, those who've been concerned about unelected bureaucrats and judges making decisions for them, have a lot to be happy about. So I think understanding the political kind of attack here, it seems a little bit of a miss to me.
But I honestly don't understand what the Republicans are thinking here. They're promising more dogmatic, more ideological judges, and they're going to the right of Trump, which to me, when President Obama was running against Hillary Clinton, we were not going to the left of Hillary Clinton. We were trying to embrace all Americans and say how things would be more fair.
Sometimes a little to the left of Hillary.
But no, oftentimes we were actually making the appeal to the moderate Republicans to say, there is a country that can work for all of us. And that I am not seeing out of the Republicans at all this time.
Also, though, we're in the very early stages of the primary, before Iowa, before New Hampshire.
Now as you pick a heartthrob.
Let me give you this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Trump campaign response today, Ron DeSanctimonious. So I guess that's what we're going with, Ron DeSanctimonious.
I think Meatball needs to come back. I think Trump left Meatball too soon.
Okay,
DeSanctimonious is too long.
All right. Well, okay. Ron DeSanctimonious, insert Chris's request here. Bizarrely announced he does not support the 3 Trump-appointed Supreme Court justices who overturned the Roe v. Wade decision. Okay, we've seen this from Ron DeSantis over a couple of times, of trying to attack Trump from the right. Does the polling indicate there's anything there? There's any votes there?
I don't get this. I mean, the 3 justices Trump appointed, and he got very, very lucky, that's the one thing a lot of moderate Republicans like about the Trump administration. That was one of his biggest successes. They overturned Roe v. Wade. I do not understand this. There's plenty to go after Trump about. Pick your indictment, pick your scandal. January 6th, law and order. There's all kinds of potential.
Rebecca, I can feel Rebecca getting fired up.
Why go after the justice?
I can hear it.
But you don't have control over it. It's a lifetime appointment. You take what you can get.
I would just say that
they're very popular justices.
They've been popular justices not because they've been activist judges from the right, but because they've returned decisions back to the people on religious expression, on people actually voting against the EPA.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.